name is Farid, and I'll be showing you how to use the joiner safely and correctly. Before we go inside, we have to make sure we are safe to go inside. This means removing loose wires, loose and hanging wires. The reason we remove these wires is that it removes the chances of us getting caught in the machine, which lowers our risk of injury. Next, we have to make sure that there's nothing hanging. This also includes the chains, and sometimes also people bring like bracelets or like necklaces that we also have to take those off. We're still not ready to go inside because we can see our sleeves are very loose, which also can get caught in the machine. There are many things that can get caught in the machine, which also includes our pants. We have to make sure our pants are worn properly and tied really tight. Looks like I'm ready, but I'm not. I'm still missing two pieces of equipment. Well, one piece of equipment and one thing. The thing is, I have to tie my laces. The reason we tie laces is that when we're in the shop, we can trip on our laces. We can like hurt us and other people. Looks like I'm ready, so I can wear my safety glasses and head to the joiner. Now that we're at the joiner, we have to inspect the joiner if it's safe and proper working conditions. We do this by first inspecting the wire and the cord if it's plugged in. The cord is plugged in and the wire is not frayed or splintered in any way. Let's make sure that at least it can run. Next, we make sure that our surroundings are safe and clear of debris. As you can see, it is. Next, we make sure that the guard is in working condition. We do this by making sure the guard snaps back in place after it's open. The guard is in working condition, so that means we can test if the in-feed table and the out-feed table are 90 degrees to each other. We do this by taking a square and just lining it up on the in-feed and out-feed table. Now that we know our in-feed and out-feed table are squared, we can next make sure that the stop button is working. The stop button works by twisting this thing over here and it comes out. Then you turn on your machine, but we don't have any power, so we won't turn it on. The stop button works by just pushing it against and it just stops. Once you're done with the machine, you have to wait for it to stop because this machine has momentum. Now that we're done inspecting the machine, we can start inspecting our wood. Our wood must be 3/8 of an inch thick, or 1mm thick, 3/4 of an inch, or 19mm wide, 12 inches, or 305mm long. After our wood does fit these criteria, then it's allowed in the joiner. If it doesn't, then it's not allowed because the wood is too short to be used in the joiner and it will lead to kickback or your fingers touching the blade. Now that we're at the joiner, we have to understand what the joiner does. What the joiner does is it removes cups and bows from pieces of wood. The wood goes like this, and a cup is when the wood face down like this. To remove these imperfections, you would put the bowl or the cup facing down. This wood has a cup, and you mark it over here like this, and put the cup facing down. Next, we choose our proper push stick. The push stick we chose is a short, two-handed one, like this. The reason we didn't choose a long one is that the long one extends over the wood. This is dangerous because when you're pushing it, the wooden push stick might dip down and go into the joiner. You can see some people have made this mistake on the joiner. The reason we don't use a two-handed sticks is because it'll just interfere with the guard. You have to push it against the side and with this, so when you're pushing it, it's just gonna hit with the guard and you won't be able to hit it against the side. That's why you use a short push stick. When using a short push stick, you have to stand to the side of the wood in case of kickback. While you're pushing, you have to make sure you apply ample pressure to keep the wood down and the cup feet down. You run it through the joiner while walking to the side. You run all the way through. And keep walking. Sometimes the guard will not spring back and will look like this. This is dangerous because the cutter head is exposed and someone might get hurt. This doesn't mean you, it can also include other people. To fix this, you just simply push it with your push stick or with your piece of wood, just like this. How would you know if your cup is removed or your defect? You would know by just marking the wood every time you use it through the joiner. Once the imperfection or once the pencil markings are done, then you know that you've gotten rid of your imperfection. Now that we've dressed one face, it's time to dress the edge. We can see that both edges are pretty similar. So we'll just imagine that there's a bolt over here. This is a bit too big, and using this will take away all this material. Once you're doing this, you have to make sure that the bolt is facing downwards, where the 2 points are touching the table. You make the flat side against the fence tightly, and your fingers curled back behind the wood, and your thumbs pointing each other. The reason they're pointing each other and not down is that it's farther away from the blade, which is even more safe. Once you got your hand positioning ready, you walk the wood slowly while walking to the side in case it kicks back. You walk it and go here. You never stop in the middle because the cut head is always turning, and you will gouge out another curve inside your wood. So once you push it, always move, and you'll see that the guard for small pieces doesn't flick back because it doesn't have enough spring. Just push it simply with your hands. That's how to dress one edge using your hands, and if it's above the fence. Now I'll show you how to dress one edge where it's below the fence. Now that we have this wood, we can see that it's way below the fence. This means that we are not allowed to use our hands because our hands will be way too close to the blade. I've drawn an imaginary boat over here. So the boat will be facing down on the infeed table. We'll pretend that this side is dressed, just for the safety purposes. We cannot use our hands. We have to use these push sticks. The reason we use these push sticks and not long push stick is that the long push stick will just not work. Neither will the short push stick. We just use these. One push stick pushes against the fence, making sure that it's all flat from the bottom. The other one pushes from the back, and you push through while walking to the sideways. Once you're over here, you keep going, you don't stop, all the way through, and you'll always realize that when your piece of wood in width is small, the guard will never hit back. So you just push it there, and you're done. What you have to do, you can just mark it with a pencil to see when the bolt is gone. That's how you use a joiner. But remember, always be trained by a teacher. This is just a safety video.